very warm welcome to the Form on this Saturday morning, and as always, we've got lots to get through, plenty of interviews and insights coming up right here on the Form. Let's have a little look at what's on the agenda. We start the day with Brendan Popwell, who talks us through that Te Rapa meeting with the best in value bet. Then to our Central Districts form analyst and Bevan Sweeney, we preview 4 races plus his tips from the card. We then head out and about on the road. Bevan caught up with Mike Breslin, who has Son of Thunder and Colorado Star in this afternoon's races at Aupuni. We then welcome in Matt Cameron to the show. He's got a strong book of rides at Te Rapa. Stephen Marsh, our country's leading trainer, joins us. And we wrap things up with Nick Bashara, who of course has last start winner Cherry Lane in at Aupuni. Brendan Popwell, welcome into the Form, and of course Te Rapa is where we turn our attention for Saturday afternoon. And first of all, I thought we could have a little look at race number 7, which is the Open Handicap, and gee, it's a little bit of a tricky one to assess, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, Emily. A very good morning to you. And yeah, a race where we see horses that are looking to get themselves back into form that are very good gallopers. I mean, you've only got to look at a horse like Sherwood Forest, for instance, who is back in NZ and a race of he's more than capable of winning if he's anywhere near right. Of course, he's building towards another campaign through the summer. Our Hail Mary, a horse that is trained by Alan Sharrock, that's taken support and does have Lemmy Douglas aboard with 4 kilos coming off. I think it's a dangerous prospect in the race. But even runners like Germanicus, Germanicus last start was in the Copeland's been running into 6th position, and we've seen Germanicus perform at a good level. Paisley Park, a winner 2 starts ago. So there's a number of horses here that can step up again from their past performances. And then you've got a few of the lighter weights like Bari. Bari's a horse who's only having start number 12, but he looks to be a real up-and-comer as he gets through the grades. He'd be liking the fact that there's been a bit of rain that's fallen over the last week. That brings him right into the race. Overall, Emily, I thought in a tricky race, I didn't mind More Wonder, number 5. Now, he's a horse who competed last week at our premier meeting, of course, when finishing into 7th position behind Packing Rockstar in the J-Swap Sprint. We have seen him perform at his best at this venue. You've only got to go back through the autumn when he was doing exactly that. We know as a younger horse also he's a runner that just looked like he could have been anything. So happy to take a little bit of a chance on him at a price. He sits around that $7-8 mark. Opie aboard and drawn nicely in barrier number 3. Chelsea Bell's a chance, as I said, along with Our Hail Mary. But yeah, a tricky little race, but a good race to look forward to at the same time.
Yeah, it most definitely is. Now we come to your best and value bet, Brendan, and race number 3 for the best bet, and it is a horse we've heard about previously on the Form.
That's right, yes, and We Will Rock, a horse I was keen on that midweek meeting a couple of weeks ago at Rotorua, and just a runner that got in a tricky position, and it was almost an unwinnable position from a bad gate, but still a very good run when finishing on into 3rd position. Look, sectionals don't lie about how this horse has performed at his last 2 starts. He looks a very, very progressive horse. Opie was on board tomorrow, and that's a good ride for Opie throughout the program. I thought barrier draw of 9. Be interesting tactically how they want to play this with We Will Rock, because we saw the horse in that Topol win when producing those very good figures. Drew wide, but he was a horse who could plant himself somewhere close enough to the pressure and then put them away in very good fashion in a race that has really stood up as an outstanding form reference. That race that he did win the maiden over 1100 metres back at Topol on the 6th of October. So he's around $2.70. Yeah, I was happy to mark him down as my best.
And then we get along to the value bet, and you've definitely got one that is providing value for us on Saturday.
Yeah, and it's a horse I keep coming back to as well, Emily, and it's a runner that I was keen on last time, and like he didn't get in the race at all. I'm speaking of race 5 in Honesty. Now, he's drawn in barrier number 3, should I say, on the weekend. In her race last time out on a very wet track at Matamata, just got too far out of its ground. By the end of the day, you needed to be fairly close to the speed. We saw Cherry Lane on the same day, for instance, really blow them away by an on-speed ride. This horse just got back and she was beaten 20 lengths. It's always hard to try and back a horse next time to the races and tip it out as a chance when they've been beaten 20 lengths. But what I do like from her is her form at this venue, and we've seen a couple of really good runs from her at this track. You've only got to go back 3 starts ago. The horse ran third, beaten a length and a half in a 65 over 1600 metres. She's even performed well last preparation through some of our premier days, even at Ellerslie. So if she can rediscover that type of form, and she only has to go back a couple of starts to find it, maybe she's a good little each way bet at the $15.
Love your work, Brendan. Thanks for your time this morning, and enjoy that meeting from Te Rapa.
Certainly will. Thanks, Emily. Merry Christmas.
Devon Sweeney, welcome into the form, and Aaron Cooney really takes centre stage this weekend. But as we spoke about earlier in the week, weather is going to play a big factor. I just had a little look as we sit on Friday morning, and track conditions are heavy.
Yeah, they will definitely be. Emily, very good morning to you. There was torrential rain through Palmerston North through the early part of the week into yesterday, even quite considerable rain yesterday. So look, it's going to be a heavy 11. Weather at the moment, this part of the world is warm. As soon as the rain goes away, it gets very, very hot and humid here. So there will be a little bit of drying, Emily, but I don't think anything to bring those firm track horses back into contention here. So we're certainly looking for weak trackers across the 8-race program. 2 good quality features on the program, the Weight for Age Sprint and also this year's Cup.
Yeah, looking forward to those. We'll get into a preview of those a little bit later. Just wanted to start with the 2- and 3-year-old races that are races 1 and 2 on the card. First of all, the 2-year-old race, and it's all Central District's contenders. Is there one that you've singled out that you feel has nice potential?
Well, Peter Didden's been going great guns in recent times. Robbie Hennam's going to ride his horse, his brother-in-law, a horse who had won its 2 trials. It was down to run in the Wakefield when they called that particular meeting off. It didn't go north with that particular race, so it stayed in the Central Districts. Look, race day experience at home. Sometimes I worry about these horses first up at their home track because they get out of their normal routine of coming up in the morning and doing their work and going home. When they come up midday, they sometimes just get a little bit hot on their debut performance. But the team's flying, and this horse has looked very good at its 2 trial performances. It's $1.60. Do you want to take $1.60 a heavy 11 first start for a 2-year-old? I'm not 100% sure. Chavot for Lisa Latta has won its 1 and only trial. It's a really nice 2-year-old by Bellardo, a filly. So she's well in the market at $2.70. Nicholas has looked okay at the trials as well. Lisa's aboard that, Nicholas. $5, 7 into 5. So look, I think I'll be staying with Kana, who they do have a fair opinion of, but not shopping at $1.60, Emma. We'll be staying right out of that sort of price in the first.
Yeah, and as you said, on the heavy 11 track conditions as well. The second race on the card is for the 3-year-olds, and it looks like there's some quite nice progressive types in there as well. Bellardo Boy, obviously a last start winner, and of course the unbeaten Seamus.
Oh yeah, Seamus, excuse me, is a talent. There's no doubt about that. 2 wins, both been very, very dominant. I like the way he got away from them late. It took a while to get there at his most recent start, his fresh up performance, but when he got there, he just kept on going on with it. So it's a really promising sign for a young horse who's only had a couple of starts. He's by Sham Express. We know that Alan Sharrock knows how to handle a good horse, and he's spoken in high regard of this horse for a long period of time. Never had a run on a heavy track condition, has one on slow, so there's a question mark there. He's 2 into $1.90. There's not a torrent of money there that we generally do see on the Alan Sharrock runners, but enough, I think, to say he'll run a race. Hazel Chauffeur in the saddle, so there's a lot of positive factors there. Bellardo Boy, of course, went down to Trentham and won the 1 and only race. He's a bit hit and miss, this horse. When he wins, he's been pretty dominant, as he was at Trentham. I think circumstantial. There are a lot of riders on that occasion just holding on to their horses down the straight. And look, Daniel got a nice run up the inside, so she was allowed to let this horse stretch out a fraction. So hard to get a really strong line through that performance. But when he did win, I think it was 6 starts ago, he was really good on and off track conditions. So he's got to be in the mix. And gee, they put some money on the Stony one when Guy Larry took this up north, and that delivered with really good authority. So those top 3, and I wouldn't actually count out Son of Thunder. That was in the same race as Bellardo Boy, Emily, and it slipped at the gates, and Jay Riddell just took hold and never really took any part in the race. And he's a horse with a fair bit of ability as well. But I think the 1, 2, and 3 are certainly exciting prospects out of the Central Districts, but Seamus has done it all in 2 starts to this point, so we'll stick with him at this point, but he is short again, $1.90, so 2 shorts in races 1 and 2. I hope punters get away on the right foot, but there's always that niggle of these heavy 11 track conditions.
Yeah, there is. You just don't know what you're going to get, do you? We'll move on to the stakes races, and you've got the Carter's Manawatu Challenge Stakes. And with the rain around, Bevan, is that leading us towards Just Ask Me?
Oh, I think absolutely. And Emily, he went up north and was a winner at his most recent start. And you map something out like Alan did with this horse, and you get rain on the day like they did here. He was an incredible price on that particular day with what happened during the day and the day prior with the rain. Look, he's an interesting horse because he's not a dead set heavy 11 horse. He's a lot better than that. He can actually run on better ground and be very, very competitive. But when track conditions get to this sort of level, he is a very, very good horse. He'll lap up 1,400 metres. He's an Opunake Cup winner on over the 1,400 metres and went down south and performed with great credit. He's been up north and performed with credit. And the biggest factor is with Tabby Mac in the race, the amount of money for Just Ask Me. So he's got to be on top. Outside of that, it's going to be great to see Coventina Bay back at the races. She's a Group 1 mare, and I imagine she's Thorndon bound. That sort of race would really suit her. Whether she's going to be competitive fresh up 1,400 metres on a heavy 11, there's probably a slight question mark there, but she has been capable on off-track conditions prior. And then you've got horses like Colorado Star, who is very proficient on off-track conditions. I thought he was a little unlucky not to run closer down in the Copeland's Mile. He sort of came up the inside and never really got clear galloping room. He's a talent, this horse, and he'll handle the off-track conditions. You've got Tabby. Well, I don't think he's going to be very, very good on these heavy 11 track conditions, to be fair. He's a bit better than that. We've seen the times he can run over shorter trips. So he's at $5.50, which is a price you wouldn't have got if the rain hadn't come. He'll be competitive. Hypnos going well. But yeah, everything probably points to Just Ask Me being one of the better bets on the programming.
Yeah, it definitely does. What about the Manawatu Cup, the open handicap over the 2,300 metres? How did you see this one?
Well, again, we head to the top of the book, and it's not something you do a lot, especially on a heavy 11s with an open handicap and some horses placed down on the 53. But House of Cartier, I thought, was exceptional at her most recent performance. She really did hit the line nicely in Group 1 company. We've seen what she did at Hastings. Quality mare, but she was heading to the Zabel Classic, but I think when the rain has come, Peters thought, well, why don't we have a go at the $100,000 at home with cut out of the track condition? She has to carry the 59, so she's giving all horses here at least 2.5 kilos. But she's good enough to carry that. We've seen her get away from a couple of nice fields and dominantly late. So a 270 about her, I think, is okay. She has touched 290. 270 is okay. Cherry Lane's the big closer now. It has an amazing wet track record. She really does plough through wet ground. 56.5 is probably a good weight position for this particular horse. Tegan Newman, Nick Bashar, we know these stable lights are beaten. They have. Whether she's up to House of Cartier, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think 2.5 kilos is a big impost against House of Cartier. I expect her to be winning this race. I think she will push on through, and if she backs up at Ellerslie, well, we'll just have to wait and see, but I'd be a little bit surprised. And then you've got some interesting lightweight runners like Sky Fighter, who's always competitive here. Sir Nate, I'm not sure he's going as well as last season, but he is a very competitive little horse. Prince Leo's going well, but look, it's not often you head towards the top of the book in these open handicaps, Emily, but House of Cartier, I think is going to still be the one. Quality Group 1 horse, probably against horses that aren't at that level.
As we come to your best bets, Bevan, you might have already indicated what you've got on top, and is that Just Ask Me?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he'll get everything his way on Saturday. The track is going to be at his sweet spot, 1,400 metres. He was going around in a group, or trying to go around in the Group 1 at Trenton when it was called off. He didn't go north, held back, rains come, 1,400 metres, Hazel Show for Alan Sherritt. There's a lot of positive factors there. He's short enough, but expecting him to go very, very well. Value on the program, I find it difficult on these days when the track conditions have sort of changed so much to really nail one for you. But I've spoken before about what I think of a horse called He's a Doozy. And he really is, I think, going to be a doozy. He's a sort of horse. If you go back and watch his run at Wrekin, he went up to win, he was travelling, and then he sort of just didn't know what to do when he got there. And the other horse found a bit of a kick and he got lost. I've spoken to the team, Emma House, in with Lisa Ladder now, and speaking to Emma at the races lately, she agrees once this horse really works out what it's doing, it's going to be a very, very good galloper. So I do like him at $4.20 to be a good performer on Saturday. He should be capable enough on these wet track conditions. It was quite wet that day at Riccarton, so expecting a run from him. And maybe into race number 4 on the program. And there is a very smart horse in here called Can I Get an Amen? Oh, I was very keen on her at Trentham on the firm ground. These track conditions are a bit of a worry, but she's at $6 in the right race. If she handles these conditions, she's a black type winner in her career. She's been very good at Hastings. She's actually drawn outside, which I don't think is against her at all. I think that'll be a decent sort of spot to be by that time of the day. Track conditions a question, ability not in question. I think she's a good each way chance at $6. So we'll go with Just Ask Me. I think he's quality in the right race. We've got He's a Doozy, who's a horse you can follow. If he doesn't win on Saturday, wait for him into the Wellington Cup Carnival. I'm pretty sure there's a win in him there. And I think the same thing about Can I Get an Amen? I do think they're trying to head this horse towards the Telegraph. So $6 on a horse that they want to get there is probably okay in this race, which is just over rating 74 grade 1200 metres. She can run good time. So there's 3 for you, Emma Lees.
Thanks, Bevan. Great stuff. Enjoy stakes racing out of our pony on Saturday.
Thanks, Ian. Have a good day.
Well, talking of Bevan Sweeney, he was out and about on the road earlier in the week to catch up with Mike Breslin, who was a couple of handy runners on the card at Awapuni.
There you go. Always cut in the corner. Get back there, win some money.
Mike, last week the track came back nice. We were here Tuesday morning and ducks. It's better weather for ducks than it is for racehorses.
Yeah, exactly. We had a lot of rain beginning of last week and the track did come back. I'm not sure if we're asking a bit much for it to do it 2 weeks in a row, especially with a bit more rain forecast the next couple of days. I suppose it's only Tuesday and the weather, temperatures have been high, but yeah, there's a lot of water on the surface now.
I suppose with the weather about that, has encouraged you to run the Colorado Star on Saturday in the feature?
Look, that's my plan at the moment. I wanted to see how he went on Saturday before I decided whether I'd back him up this Saturday or leave him for Boxing Day. Just got a little bit hindered by that fallen horse the other day and got on the back foot, and I didn't really get a really good line on him. But look, he's won on wet tracks at Awapuni, doesn't mind it, and so it would be silly not to have a look at it.
Raffle was a very talented horse, and of course she missed a run on last Saturday at Trentham, but she's just taken a while to come up this time.
Yeah, that's right. I think she's just been come out of her spell quite gross, and she's to be fair, she had 3 runs back, and each one's been a little bit better than the last one. But yeah, I thought she was cherry ripe last week at Wellington, and unfortunately the weather is off. Whether the track will be too wet for her on Saturday, we'll make a decision later in the week.
Princess Annie is a talented horse that just got held up a little bit last preparation.
Yeah, she did. Things just didn't go quite her way. She ran second first up, and then put a couple of average runs, and we just found she had a little bit of a sort of a deep-seated respiratory issue that we've given her a decent break from. She's been really flying in track work, and so yeah, I'm really hopeful that she'll come back to promise that she's shown.
And Sea Thunder didn't have any favours clearly at Trentham.
No, he didn't. No, obviously he slipped badly at the start, and I think we've probably got to thank the rider, Jonathan Riddell. He didn't persevere with the horse after really slipping badly at the start, and he pulled him up, which I think was a really wise thing to do. He's been treated by the physio and just had a few little muscle issues sorted out over the last week. If he gallops well this morning, he's won on a wet track first up, and I look to run him in the 3-year-old 1400, and he could turn his form around.
How are you going, Mark? How much rain? Another 41, possibly probably another 4 in
They
there.
see Monaco on last Saturday, really pushed on from that debut effort and was strong through the line. Quite a talented horse going forward.
Yes, he is. He's sort of a good raw sort of galloper, and he's very green. Still got a lot of improvement in him, I think. So yeah, quite exciting times for him ahead.
When the sun goes down, you can make it good and live by.
Matt Cameron, great to have you on the form once again, and we're looking forward to Te Rapa on Saturday. Thought we could go through your rides in racebook order. We'll start with the first. It's the Vibe. Yet to break the maiden, but that doesn't look too far away.
No, definitely not. You know, he's a horse who hasn't shown a hell of a lot at the track. You know, he has his quirks and he can be a bit naughty. So you know, Andrew Murray have done a good job, and the staff at the stable have done a good job to get him to where he is. And I didn't ride him last time. I opted to ride something else, and you know, he went a super race, so it was good to see him put his hand up and show something. So if he can follow that second up and go again, he should be a chance on a slightly rain affected track.
Do you think the rain affected track will suit him from the impression he gave you in that fresh run?
Yeah, for sure. He's I think his full brother is Powerful Moss, who seems to love the wet track too. So yeah, I think it's not going to hurt him. We'll just slow the others down. If it was a good track, you'd probably be scratching your head a little bit, but with that rain around, it's definitely going to help him.
Race number 2, Lot of Rock. One start for a second. You rode that day. What did you make of that effort?
Yeah, it was a super run. I rode him at the trial before. Rode him at a trial before his first start. He's a lovely colt. He's still learning. You know, he's a bit of a baby, as you know, with colts and stuff. They've got to, you know, they either switch on or they don't. And you know, I think he's going the right way. And Pam's team is flying at the moment too. So he's got a nicer draw. He should put himself right there, and you know, I think give you a top chance. It's a nice field. You know, there's a lot of place getters in there, and it's probably the form race of the day. So there'll be a couple of nice horses come out of the race. So, but I think he should be going the right way.
Race number 3, The Business, a last start winner, and hopefully you can continue on that path and get another win on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. He's the horse. That's the horse that beat Lotta Rock last time. Just couldn't quite catch it. So Cody's team is going really well. He's got his horses going well. So I think that horse can step it up. It obviously raced on the pace, and as you know, at Te Rapa, it can be quite a leader's bias every now and then. So if we can get forward and put the horse on the race, it should be top on off it again.
And then in race number 4, Garnet, the wide draw is not going to assist. You're going to have to be at your best for this one.
Yeah, for sure. The horse has kind of been thereabouts without really putting its hand up too much, but by the looks of its form, it wants the rain-affected ground, which is probably what we're going to get. It's definitely not going to be fast. So I think if any rain around, it's going to help its chances.
And then race number 5, Oh So Savvy, riding obviously for Stephen Marsh, a stable who's flying. Have you had an opportunity to look at those recent runs?
Yeah, I have. A little bit disappointing the last few runs. It's been in some tidy enough fields. I think, like you say, Stephen Marsh's team is going really well at the moment. So the horse should be fit. I don't think the rain-affected ground is going to worry it too much too. So it's definitely got to turn that form around to be a chance.
Tia Jaw is another ride in race number 6, third up to the 2100 metres, and she does have a little bit of ability.
Yeah, she does. I think it's a really well-bred horse, and the first start run was super in a nice tidy field. Last start was a bit of a head scratcher. It didn't do a hell of a lot, didn't travel the whole race. So you know, I'll have to reassess with Pam later on and see what the go is. And I think you just go along the first start form of the horse and forget last start. So yeah, if the horse can turn that around again, it should be a chance.
And then race number 7, which is, I guess, the feature you could call it on the program there from Te Rapa, Bari is a really good pickup ride. It very rarely runs a bad race, and the rain around, that'll only help your chances.
Yeah, for sure. Its first up one was super. Looked like a really smart horse, and it's been close up previous to that, and I think, you know, the lightweight chance is definitely going to help the horse, and like you say, the rain around is not going to affect it too. And I think Margaret's horses are going quite well at the moment. She's got her team, you know, only a little team, but her team seems to be going really well. So I'm happy enough to get the ride.
And then She's a Catch in the 8th. There is a win in there. You can sort of feel it coming, and obviously you're back from Group 3 company, so going to find it a lot easier on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. Looking through its form and racing some tidy fields last prep against some top horses, and obviously stepping back from the group level is always a big assist. And she's raced against some of the best fillies and around. So I think if she can bring that form again, which I think she will, Guy Larry doesn't seem to travel too far if he doesn't think it's a chance. And to come up here, it's good for me, I suppose. And if the mare can step up again, then should be really, really good chance of winning.
And then race number 9, Hove Dharma, a fourth at a later starting, and that looked like a really tough effort.
Yeah, it was a tough effort. Another one at Cody Coles that is going well. First up was good and was in a nice field last time to run fourth. So, like I said, it'll be last race of the day. We'll see how the track's playing out. But Cody's team's going super, so I can't wait to get on it.
And Matt, same as always, have you got a best for us on the card at Te Rapa?
I think I'll go a lot of Rock in the second. He's a lovely colt. Like I said, it's probably the best field of the day when it comes to the maideners looking for that first win. But I think he's got the nice draw. Pam's team's going really well, and I think he can put his hand up and get the win.
Great stuff, Matt. Good luck on Saturday, and thanks for your time this morning.
Awesome. Thanks, Emily.
Stephen Marsh, great to have you back on the form once again. And as we've become accustomed to a big team of runners at Te Rapa on Saturday, I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely, Emily. Every time we talk, we seem to get a winner, so I think we'll just keep it up every week, eh?
Exactly right. Let's go through your runners in racebook order, and we'll start with race number 5, where you've got a couple of contenders. Oh So Savvy, what have you made of those latest runs from a punting perspective? A little bit hard to get a line on the horse.
Yeah, it has been a little bit disappointing. I just think with this thing out of the track tomorrow, he does seem to race certainly well enough at Te Rapa. I think, from a good draw, he's going to get every chance, and a good strong rider like Matt Cameron. I think if he's going to turn his form around, it'll be tomorrow.
And then also in that race, one out of the box, who broke the maiden 3 starts ago. What have you made of the start since that maiden win?
Her last start, there was a riderless horse in the race. She has pretty much got detached from the field. Just basically didn't go round, really. She pulled up good, hence the reason we're backing her up. In the week, she's drawn out a little bit, but got Leithinus to ride. And hoping she can get enough points to get into the Dunstan final. But definitely she's worth following again.
And then race number 6, Global Currency. It seems like there's a lot of ticks with this on an inside draw. Opie's on, and that Starry Beal form, that's pretty good after the Waikato Cup.
Form's very good. Look, I know people are probably starting to lose a bit of faith in this horse, but he's cherry ripe, and we think he's ready to win. He's going really well. As you say, he's got a few things in his favour. The jockey's certainly a big help from barrier 1. He should get a beautiful run, and he's going to be very hard to beat.
And then also in that race, Chicana, a wide enough draw, and handled the heavy track a couple of starts ago. So I guess the slow conditions that you might get at Te Rapa will be okay.
Yeah, just last start at Matamata, she just, she doesn't mind wet, but she even found that just too tough for her. Her form prior to that was very good. Barrier draw's not going to make it easy, but she's going really well, and she's another one hoping to get to the Dunstan final, and she certainly can get a bit of it here. But the draw probably, puts Global Currency on top of her a bit.
With that wet track that she faced last time at Matamata, did she come through that run okay, or take a little while to put it all together?
Yeah, funny enough, I thought she might have been knocked around a little bit by it, but she, by Monday she was jumping out of her skin. It actually didn't worry her at all. So no, we were quite lucky then, because she has been quite a fragile sort of a mare, but no, she bounced out of it super.
And then race number 8, Banker's Choice, the son of Mongolian Khan. Thoughts on the fresh effort to Matamata again in those conditions?
I think he'd just been off the scene for a fair while. He just really needed the run. He seems to have come on a lot from it. He's probably going to be better third up over the mile, but he is better than his last run. I think it's a very good field, this. But would like to see him certainly featuring. But I think third up over the mile, you'll see a better horse.
Also in that race, you've got Illumination, who you must be pretty happy with, racing really well with that last start second beside the name.
Yeah, she's going really good. She'll jump from a handy draw. She'll put herself right there. as I say, it's a very good field, but I think she's a smart mare. She's got black type, and I think she'll be right on the finish again.
Race number 9, He's the Man, an inside draw with a 5th behind Image of You over the 1600 metres. The off-track conditions, how will they suit Te Rapa?
I reckon the only thing that's sort of been stopping him is the hard tracks of late. I think the mile from a good draw, Opie on again. I think he can turn his form around. He's actually going really well, the horse, and I think he's going to really get his chance. Everything looks pretty good in that race for him, I thought.
And then race number 9, also you've got All Black Bourbon, and you get the blinkers on. Can that make the difference?
I certainly hope so. And this thing out of the track, he'll jump from a wide draw. He'll go forward. He's just been a little bit sort of in and out of late, but he can definitely. I think the blinkers on and the slow track will really help him. It'll bring him right into play.
Before we move on to Awapuni, what do you reckon is your best at Te Rapa on Saturday?
I know I've tipped them a few times, but Global Currency, I'm putting them on top and clearly on top.
And then if we get to Awapuni, just the 2 contenders, Z Falls in the open handicap over 2,300. You have that nice second behind Cherry Lane, and you're going to have to be tough again because it looks like pretty off-track conditions at Awapuni on Saturday.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be very testing. But she did handle it, well enough at Matamata the other day. Cherry Lane, I think it won by about 13 lengths. So it's going to be hard to peg back on these sort of conditions again. But she's a good mare, and we're just trying to add to her black type tally.
And then Graciano for the social racing team, pretty unlucky at the latest. You'll be hoping to turn that around, no doubt.
Yeah, first run over ground. She's fit, she's ready. She likes wetter tracks, but I don't know if she's going to cop it this heavy. But she is going really well, and she's going to go for a spell after this. So now if she can handle the track, I think she's a pretty tidy mare, and looking forward to seeing her up over ground.
I'm sure putting one on top of Awapuni is a little bit easier because there's just the 2 contenders. But who do you like best out of those 2 from Awapuni?
Oh, look, I'd be just wrapped if any of them win. I can't put a clear on top there. I just think we'll just stick with Global Currency at Te Rapa and just hope the 2 girls go good down at Manawatu.
Stephen, we're coming into a really busy time of year with the Christmas Carnival and big races out of Ellerslie and around the country, in fact. Is there a horse that we can look out for over the next couple of weeks that punters can note down?
Look, a horse not getting a lot of luck at the moment, and he'll run on Boxing Day, is Run to Perfection. He's been going really good races. A little bit of rain around is going to help him, and does race very good there. So, look, if he can draw a barrier on Boxing Day in the Open 14, he'll be right there. But I do think we're going to have some really nice chances through the 26th and 1st, and it'll be certainly worth following the team, that's for sure. Maybe not too many in the real big races, but a fair few undercards that'll go well.
And you must be really wrapped with how everything's going this season, leading the Premiership. That must give you a real buzz.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, when we got to the front in the Premiership, I thought, it'll last a week, and it's sort of gone on for a couple of months now. But no, look, team's going really good. We've got some nice firepower still there, and hey, I mean, leading, we might not be leading at the end of the season, but it's always nice, and especially this time of year.
Awesome stuff. Well, Stephen, best of luck on Saturday. Hopefully we can get you another winner and we can see Global Currency taking home the chocolates. But in the meantime, thank you.
Let's hope. Thanks, Em. We'll see you next Friday.
Nick Bashara, very warm welcome to the form, and I'm sure you're one person who's been celebrating the rain around with Cherry Lane going to Awapuni this weekend.
I am. Let's just hope they got a meeting. I might have overdone the celebrations and the prayers.
That's exactly what you want, isn't it? The rain around, because that last start victory at Matamata on off-track conditions, that was devastating. What was the margin? 13 lengths?
Yeah, no, she's just relishing, and she's really in the zone at the moment. She's just flying, and couldn't be more happier with her. The only knock I got is she hasn't travelled away from home that well in the past. She went to Wanganui one year and didn't perform that well, and I think we went to New Plymouth and she did run a credible 4th one day, but yeah, she hasn't had a lot of trips away, and whether that's a reason or not, I don't know. So,
What's the process of getting her down there? Is there anything you can do to combat that? She has to go today, I presume.
Yep, she's left at 6 o'clock this morning. We take their temperatures when we get there, make sure everything's okay. And I've taken her paddock mate, which is Rising Reward, which will race down there to keep her comfortable. And Lucy Tanner's been kind enough to give us some walk-in, walk-outs down there. So it's pretty similar to life at home. So let's hope she travels good and we can do the job.
I know you've said in the media in the past that the more grumpy and cranky she is, I think in your words, tart, more like a tart she is, the better she goes. How has her tart behaviour been in the build-up to this race?
It's right up there with the other week. So we've been dodging bites and kicks all week. So we're right there.
And you mentioned taking Rising Reward down to be a mate. Rising Reward is fresh up after a spell. How forward is she?
Yeah, she's. We're lucky enough to have jump outs at Ellerslie, and she was pretty ordinary in her first one, and she is a staying mare, so 1,200 metres was never going to suit. But I was quite happy with the second one. She missed the kick by 3 or 4, got back last, and did finish really stylishly over 1,200 metres against good sprinters. So that's not her go. So a year older, she won her first maiden really impressively, but she never went on with it. So we just put her aside and let her mature a bit. So we're hopeful of a good result.
And then if we focus in on Te Rapa, you've also got a couple of contenders there. King Mondo, last start place, when second up. The wide draws maybe not ideal.
He's a massive striding horse. So if we could get 3 wide with cover, that'd be perfect because he probably wouldn't want to be cluttered up on the fence. I've got a lot of time for this horse. He's nominated for the Derby. That's how much we think of him. And, once I get him over 2,000 metres in a trip, he's going to be a very nice horse. So probably one for the punters to follow.
Rising Storm has put in a couple of tidy runs and also in a third up state. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, no, she's a lovely, it's not a big mare, but she's got a big stride on her, and her form this time in's been impeccable. She was very unlucky at Tauranga. She went for an inside run and got squeezed up and roared home late to fourth, and very happy, So a nice mare, could progress through the grades in the autumn. Yeah.
And then Rising Road and Rising Ransom, they're both double nominated. Tell us first of all about Rising Road. How's she progressing?
Yeah, she went a cracker last week at Te Rapa, and that was really just a tune-up for today. She's Dunstan qualified for the Stayers race, so we're hopeful to get some points today to get us there. And very happy with a very lightly framed mare that doesn't need a lot of work, but a genuine staying type of mare. So you'll appreciate the trip.
And then Rising Ransom, you're going to take advantage of Lemmy Douglas's 4 kilo claim with the wide draw?
Yes, we'll be pressing forward, hopefully in the first 4 or 5. And he's got a real affinity with Te Rapa. He loves his place. And he's gone some terrific races there. So he's a tough, hardy campaigner. So again, he's Dunstan qualified. So we'd like to get him into the final there and have a crack.
I'd say George Simon will be hoping you split them up into different races with the names of them, don't you reckon?
I tell you what, it's very difficult at nomination time with all the risings I've got, and I've got a half a dozen more coming. So I actually have to write it all on a bit of paper to make sure I get it right. So yeah, John and Victoria love using the rising suffix, so it makes my job harder and probably George's as well.
Yeah, exactly right. Nick, tell us, what do you feel is your best on the day on Saturday?
Well, probably Cherry Lane if she travels down and does good. I've got a lot of time for King Mondo if he gets a trip. Yeah, I really wanted to split King Mondo and Rising Storm. She was in at Puppy, but with the weather up here, we opted for the better track conditions. We both want good tracks, which is unusual for the Bashara team to have a dry tracker. So, yeah, so half of me's happy. The other half's like, oh, rain go away, rain stays. So at least we've got $1 each way, I guess.
Yeah, exactly right. Well, Nick, thanks for your time. Good luck on Saturday, and I guess good luck to George Simon as well, remembering all the risings.
Okay, thanks very much, Emily. Cheers.
Well, it's a busy show on this Saturday morning, isn't it? That's all of our interviews done and dusted. It's now time to recap what our team like for their best bets.
Standing on the start line for everyone to see. Thinking it's about time to show what I believe. I'll find a way to win
Well, that's it for this week on The Form. Next week, we've got a special edition that'll be coming your way on the 24th of December, Christmas Eve, and it's a 1 hour long Boxing Day preview special. Make sure you tune into that. It'll play not only on Christmas Eve, but throughout Christmas Day as well. From all the team here on The Form, we wish you a great week. We look forward to joining you on the 24th.